Another aspect to surrendering to God is giving up control. And this is something that I talk about a lot, especially on this marriage journey, right? Because a lot of us have this like false sense of control, right? Because we don't know when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen, where it's going to happen. We don't know what's going on. God knows, right? But it's hard to surrender that control over to Him in anything, right? On this walk with God, whatever, promises that He's told you that He's going to do. But specifically, I talk about it with the marriage because a lot of people, like I said, have a false sense of control. Control is often how trauma hides, okay? When life feels unstable, when people didn't show up, when people walked out of your life, right? You had to become your own protector. Controlling emotions, plans, and people felt safer than surrendering. It wasn't rebellion, self-preservation, right? Now, something I wanted to touch on, controlling your emotions. Self-control is a fruit of the spirit, okay? Like no matter what anybody says or does to you, you are in control of your own emotions. You are in control of how you react to it, right? We're supposed to be spirit-led, not emotion-led. But we are human, okay? So sometimes we do give in to them emotions. But what protected you in one season can imprison you in the next, okay? Control gives the illusion of peace, but it's just another form of pressure. You're still trying to fix things God never told you to handle, right? Y'all, actually, when you think about it, trying to control something can lead to stress, right? Anxiety, a lack of peace. You think that you're having some form of peace, but it's really false peace because you're trying to be in control of things that you have no idea how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, where it's going to happen, so on and so forth. Only God knows, right? He's Alpha and Omega, beginning and end. He knows all, right? So even when it comes to seeking God on anything in your life, I know a lot of people, like I mentioned before, Satan wants us to be our own gods. He doesn't want us to depend on God for anything. But I don't understand why you wouldn't want to seek God on any decision that you want to make because, like I said, He knows all. So even though you might want this marriage with that person or the business or this career or so on and so forth, God knows what's best for you. He knows how things are going to turn out. So it is in your best interest to seek God on everything. Surrendering to God doesn't mean you don't care, right? It's not like you're letting go of control. It's not giving up responsibility. It means you're trusting in God and what He says, what He has planned for you. And y'all, especially in regards to this marriage journey, I've told people time and time again, when you surrender that control, when you surrender the promise and surrender everything to God, there is a peace that comes with that because you're not constantly worrying about what's going on, where they're at, who they're with, when it's going to happen, and so on and so forth. Like, okay, Lord, you told me this was going to happen. You told me this was my promise, and so on and so forth. So you got it. Bring it back around when it's time. Amen. Being in control doesn't make you strong. It keeps you spiritually tired, right? And I talked about this before too, y'all. Like when you're constantly thinking that you have to be in control of something, you're going to wear yourself out. You're going to be spiritually tired, emotionally tired, physically tired. Like there's just so much like weariness that comes with that. We think that we're doing what's best for us because trauma, survival mode, so on and so forth, but it's really weighing us down. It's part of that Matthew 11:28-30. Like we're carrying things God never asked us to carry. Isaiah 40 verses 29-31. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Even youths grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. Letting God take the lead is how you finally find rest. Amen. You can trust God with what you've been micromanaging, from your finances, your healing, your relationships. You don't have to manage every outcome. God knows where He's taking you. Again, y'all, it goes back to what I said earlier. God is Alpha and Omega, beginning and end. He knew everything before the earth was formed. So He knows He's the best person to go to. He's the best person to surrender everything to because He knows what's best. He already knows the outcome. Like I mentioned earlier, y'all, I know control or the false sense of control or what have you comes from trauma, right? It's a survival mode tactic. And with God, He's asking you to move from survival mode to surrender mode, okay? Like He wants you to rest. He don't want you to grow spiritually tired, emotionally tired, and physically tired. No, because He has great plans for you. Plans not to harm you, but prosper you, okay? So He wants you to release everything to Him and let Him take control. You don't have to be in charge anymore with God, right? Be still and know that I am God.